time. This is Greg. If you don't know him, he's my boyfriend. He's going to be helping us out today, and I'm going to show you some basic stuff on how to clean up your man's beard and how to even up the top a little bit. I'll even show you how to take some length off. Nothing too difficult. It's pretty simple, and then I'll also show you here. Spin a little bit. Perfect. And then I'll also show you how to taper just around your ear line, just because I figured that's what gets the craziest and is really difficult to, sorry if my head's not in the shot, but now I think I got it. So if you just go around here with clippers and a comb, I will definitely show you how to do that as well. I'll also show you how to clean up your guys' neckline. And there's tons of different ways to do this, but I'll show you how to do round and square. I'll also show you how to do a simple taper. I usually do a pretty high and tight taper fade on him, but I'll just do the basics to show you how, just to kind of keep them maintained, and it's something fun that you guys can do together, and he won't feel so disgusting through quarantine. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with his beard, just since we're in a low shot frame, and he'll get all the low shots out of it. And if you have a cape, feel free to use that. If you don't, you can also, sit without a shirt.
Or a towel.
Or a towel, definitely. Thank you. And to do clipper work, clipper over comb, I suggest if you have a big comb like this, find it and use it, because this will be the easiest way to actually see all the hair in it. I'm not going to use this comb. This is just a random comb that I use for my hair coloring at home. But I do have my usual clipper comb. Oster's super good brand. You can get a ton of these on Amazon. Okay. And so what I like to do is I like to comb out anything that's in there. So make sure there's no dust or anything like that. And I would just kind of ask like typical questions. I remember when I first started to do beard trims, I was a little intimidated just because I only went over it a couple of times during beauty school, but once I really got comfortable. So you'll see this distinguished line pretty much on anybody's beard line, and this is where you're gonna wanna stop. Like, I know you might think, oh, it might look nicer if I go a little lower. Don't. This is your line of demarcation, and then these little fuzzies are the ones to get. And then Greg doesn't like to have his mustache, so I usually just take off his mustache completely. And then for neckline, have you spin around like this? Perfect. Thank you. And now hold it back a little bit more. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, there's another little line of demarcation right here. And I'll just go right here, right where my comb is. That's where I'm gonna cut all this neck hair. And I usually like to tilt it a little bit towards his jaw, just so his jaw is a little bit more defined too. And we'll go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. And like I said, line of demarcation, this is where you're gonna take off all those little fuzzy hairs. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start that. Flip this way. And I already disinfected all my stuff, so that is pretty nice. So go ahead and do that in between haircuts. See, like even just that little bit, it already looks so much better. I feel like this looks a lot better than going really low, like kind of like, I hate that jaw strap kind of beard. It's super, super weird. And so another thing you would want to do is clean up just like a straight line like right here, just so it looks nice and clean. So, here, I'll have you get real close to the camera just so you can see. Perfect. So if you just see that real straight line, it's just like a good base, just to get that going. And I'll probably do the exact same thing on that side. I'll do the cheek, and I'll do this nice line, and then we'll go ahead and go in and clip the neckline a little bit. Okay? So I'll just go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side. And then if you have these little straggler things, you just tilt your trimmer just like this and go up. And that's pretty much how you're going to do the ear too, to go around their ears with trimmers. Okay, cool. So now that you got your line right here and your cheeks done, I don't know if you guys have like razors or anything. Sometimes if you want it to be a little cleaner, I would just go in. I usually just use a bald fader and just do the cheek area real light. I would go ahead and use that if you have, what is this, like beard razor? Is that what that is? Like not the barber straight razor.
Standard disposable razors.
The standard disposable razors, like you could just go ahead and lightly hit your cheek or just clean up the edges real good just so it looks a little cleaner. I would suggest doing that. I'll probably go in at the very end and bald him out right here and on his neck a tiny bit too. Okay, cool. So I'll have you face front and we'll go ahead and do your neck. Have you look up. So this part, be very, very careful. Going in and doing the neck part is kind of uncomfortable. It's not so much for you, but for your guys, just be really careful. Usually sometimes I'll hold the skin a little tighter right here, like if you push down a little bit, just so the hair doesn't pull as much and it doesn't hurt. It also helps to clean your blades if you do that too, because the dirtier they are, the more hair you're gonna pull. And then I'll show you an example of clipper over comb, but I'm gonna use my trimmers in this comb. So I see this like not even bush, just right at the beginning of his neck, or bottom of his neck. I'm just gonna go in and take that in. See that next one? Again. See? Just doing that makes a world of difference. And then also be really careful going over their Adam's apple. Usually for the Adam's apple, I usually like to just a pinch like right there, just so you're not going really over their Adam's apple. Like, so you're mostly just going over skin. And I always like to check in. You doing okay?
That's fine.
Okay, cool. And if you do end up not using tension like that, just go ahead, just go real lightly and slow, just so you don't break them. So much better. And usually if you go with the hair, it won't hurt as much. And I usually, especially for the neck, sometimes I'll go with it and then against, just so it doesn't pull the long hairs that much. So remember that thing that I did, clipper or trimmer over comb? I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Usually helps me to create a line too, because then you can just kind of go with your guide. And then I'm going to do the same thing, the trimmer over comb. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of dust him off a little, make sure that...
Who's coffee? Oh, sorry.
Coffee not helping?
No. Fortunately.
So if you have like something similar to this, I would recommend it. If you have, like, honestly, if I don't have this, what I do in the salon is I get a towel and some baby powder and I just dust them off real quick. The baby powder helps take it off the skin instead of move it around. Sometimes if I just have this and no baby powder, it just moves it around. Yeah. Now I'm gonna go in and clean him up a little bit with my ball fader, probably take off his mustache, and he'll be all good to go. So now you're gonna go in and refine. Since you just cleaned up the neckline and everything, I'm gonna go in with my ball fader, but first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up just like right here with, if you have just regular standard wall clippers, it should come with guards, like these little plastic or metal guards. I'm gonna use a number 4, just right on the perimeter, just so it looks a little tapered and clear. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go ahead and kind of connect the dots a little bit with my trimmers and make sure everything's nice and leveled, and then I'm gonna go in and take off his mustache. Awesome. Okay, so I'm happy with his neckline. It looks pretty even. And his, here, let's see. Cheeks look pretty even too. If you really don't like, I know he doesn't like either, these little, I like to call them like little goat bull thingy things. I usually trim them down. Same thing with clipper over comb, or I'll just go in and use the corners, because if you use the whole thing, you're gonna take up that whole thing, and then he's gonna like not have a soul patch, and it's gonna be one beard without a soul patch. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go in and take off his mustache and then bald taper him a little bit. And then usually what I do is too, take off the cape, and if your guy has got a little chest hair loving, just go in and take that off too with your trimmers. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and clean them up a little bit. Let's go ahead and dust you off a tiny bit. You look good. I appreciate your help.
My pleasure.
Alright, so now, go in with my ball fader. So, beard's all done. Looks nice and leveled and even. Usually what I like to do, dust you off real good. And then some beard oil. This oil goes a long way. I'm using Suavecito's beard oil. It's in sandalwood and it's aged in North American oak whiskey. That's a seller for me right there. Just because who doesn't like a nice glass of whiskey if you're a dude? And it smells really good. And I'm applying more because you can always add more. You start with little, you can always add a little extra. You can also put it on dry spots on your skin or anything like that. Actually, they don't have, since I'm not at the salon, they don't have a hot towel. Usually I would do that. I would have a hot towel and then I'd put beard oil on his face and beard and stuff. Now I'm just gonna comb that all through. And ta-da! Yay, he's nice and clean. Sorry, I probably have a beard. Do I?
Not quite.
Not quite? Okay, well, okay, so now we'll go on and do some steps for his haircut. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to taper around the ears. If you have clippers, use your guards as your taper because it'll just make your life a little easier. Clipper over comb is kind of difficult, especially with his short amount of hair, because this is long for him, because usually what I do is I do like almost a zero fade on him, but not a zero exactly. We call it a half. And so it's pretty long for him. So what I'm gonna do is instead of, I'm gonna show you how to do clipper over comb, but I'm just gonna go in with a guard just so, for the sake of time too. But I will show you how to do that real quick. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna have it angled just like this, and you can kind of just scoop the hair up, just like that. And so usually for taper, I'll angle it like right there. See, this is like all the hair that I want to try to get rid of, right? And so I'll just do that all the way around his ear line, right here, and just keep it tilted. See? See that spot right there? It's got a nice blend, no harsh lines or anything like that. I would just do that over your guys' ear, and if they have too much hair, if they've got like longer than like Justin Bieber hair and they want like a trim or anything like that, I'll make another video for that. Just because that's a whole nother world when I would just go in and cut off bulk before I would go over with clipper over comb. I'm only doing this for the sake of if anybody has his haircut or hairstyle, or if they have like a proper gentleman's cut. That's pretty easy to just go in and do your own taper cleanup with clipper over comb. So see, I'm gonna do that one more time. See, even better. And then I'll do this one more time right here. And just be mindful of their ears though. See? Reach out a little bit. Perfect. So if you see right here, there's a gradual fade up into the lawn. Okay, I'll do one more, and then I will go ahead and show you with just my guards. And then same thing for the neckline. If you want to do that too, you just want to clean up their neckline a little bit. Do that. Just try to be as light and loving as you can, because the heavier and faster you are, there's more chance of messing up. So prepare your man for the longest haircut he's ever had. Just because you don't want to rush something like this. If you rush something like this is going to be what we like to call a mistake in the making. So just be really careful. And I'm gonna go on top of his ear one more time. Ready? Here we go. See, just a little taper. So now that I've showed you how to do basic clipper over comb, just put around your ear, you know, and just when you do that, just keep doing this and tilt it. Make sure it's elevated so it gets a little closer to the skin, right? But you don't want it to be exactly at skin, right? And then if you do this too, that's more likely to make sure you don't catch their ear. Or if you want to be really safe, just do this. Use your corners. Corners are always a safe bet as well. So if you don't have guards, that's what you can do. But if you have guards, it makes your life so much easier. You got the taper around the ear. You do kind of have a line, but I'll show you. You can also do clipper over comb to get that out of the way. But if you have guards, just go ahead and knock that out with a number 3. And then usually to get the harsh lines out, I usually like to scoop, make a little C. And then you can always use your lever. Make sure your levers are your friends. Go ahead and dust them off. So you can double check yourself a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. So this is one side. I showed you how to do clipper over comb. I also showed you how to do a little bit of a taper around your ear line. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then I'll show you how to do the back. Okay, so now that I showed you how to trim around the ears and taper it, I'm gonna show you how to taper your neckline a little. I'm also gonna show you how to clean up with trimmers around their neckline right here, and their neck where their t-shirt stops right here. Usually what I would do for neckline, I would usually go in and get rid of all of that, just to kind of have it out of your way. Usually at the salon, I would not go past their shirt line. Since we're in quarantine, I'll show you how to do that too. And then, once you get the majority of it, go in opposite direction. Cool, see, so much better. The next thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this little neck hair right here, and you'll see a line. Another line of demarcation. So you see all these little hairs. And that's going to lead into you going around their ears as well. A huge thing for going around their ears, please put your hand over their ear, and you can even bend it this way. If their ear is really like hard and taut, I would still cup it, just because it's so much nicer to have just maybe a little tiny cut on your hand than a tear in your man's ear. And yeah, there you go. You got a nice clean line. We'll go ahead and do that to the other side. if you don't know this about hairdressers, setting guides for yourself is probably the entire aspect of cutting hair. Your man has like more of a point. Some guys, like I remember for a while, he used to like just having the point, but it does get really long. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to square that off. I can't really square it off, but what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show you how you can round that out. Usually for, if your man does square, just go ahead, follow your comb, just like that. Make little guides, buzz, 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 right? And then you'll do the same thing, buzz, buzz, buzz. And then you'll also do the same thing on this side. Buzz, 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 right? Okay, so I'll go ahead and show you how to do. Okay, so same thing for rounded. When you do round, I usually like to start in the middle, just go like this, cut, and then instead of squaring it like this, you're gonna go cut and then side. So you're gonna cut off that corner and then you're gonna connect it to the side. Okay? And then you're gonna do the same thing to the other corner. You're gonna round it out and you're gonna kitty corner it pretty much. You're gonna kitty corner your trimmers, and then you're gonna cut off that corner and then round it out. And then square is the opposite. You're gonna enhance that corner. And then I'm gonna show you guys how to taper this little point out. So I'm gonna go into my number 2. Cool. I'm gonna go into my number 3. So I'm also going to taper it a tiny bit lower since it's his neck. So I'm going to go in with the number 1 and kind of clean up around here. Sometimes if I forget a guard, I'll just do clip over comb real quick, have it open. Make sure I don't go too short. Cool. And that's your finished product for your neckline. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to go around their ears. Okay, so go ahead, like I said, cup the ear. And then you're just gonna use the corner, these corners. Go in with your little duster or towel. Make sure you got all those little hairs. Perfect. See, now it's not touching his ear at all or anything like that. And when it's poking into your glasses, that's not fun. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the other side. Okay, cool. Awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go over his sides one more time, just make sure it's all nice and blended. And I'm going to do clipper over comb real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to turn the top up a little bit, and then we'll be all done. Thanks guys for sticking it out this far. I know it's challenging and maybe a little bit scary, but this is definite bonding time for you and your man, and it'll help you kind of look at him a little better. So you got their neckline done, you got their beard, you got the taper around the ears. You're almost done completing your first haircut, yay! Okay, cool. So the first thing I'm gonna show you is how to figure out where you're going. So his part is on the right side, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have the shortest point be towards his left. So if you can see that this is the longest point in this haircut, and it gradually gets shorter. So I'm gonna go ahead and take our comb width section out. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. What I usually like to do is kind of push the rest forward, just so you can really just focus on the section you're working on. And then, so I'm just gonna go in and cut this much, just like a 1/2 inch, just a good cleanup. And I'm gonna pull it taut. Make sure your fingers are nice and elevated, just like that. And then I'll show you a rule of thumb, especially for hairdressers. Don't cut past your second knuckle. So if you cut past your second knuckle, you could almost cut yourself. So I'm gonna go right here. Then I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna put the hair back in the comb. And I'm gonna reposition myself. So this will be your guide for your next section. And then just keep repeating that until you get down right about here. And that completes your first little section. And then what else you're gonna do is you're gonna create another comb width section, right? And then you're gonna do the same thing that I did, but instead of taking all of this, the last section you did, just take a little bit, just so you know you can see your guide. So, here, I'll show you. So you can't see it, right? But when you fold the hair back, see those little tiny pieces? That's gonna be your guide. See? And then, like I said, don't go past your second knuckle and just keep going. Even though I know I'm kind of breaking my own rule, but I've been cutting hair for 5 years, so Don't sue me. Okay, and so you're just gonna go ahead and continue the rest of the haircut like that. I'm gonna go ahead and speed it up a little bit for you guys, and I'm gonna blow dry the rest of his hair, texturize it, and style it, and then we'll be all set for the day. So for the front, usually just pull it forward a little bit and maybe just cut enough that it won't be right on the side. Because if you cut too much, then you won't have any hair to pull back. Just cut back a little bit because if it comes down a tiny bit, at least it'll just be right at eyebrow. And if he has the comb over thing, just like Greg does, and he can just push it out of the way. Cool, so I'm gonna go ahead, and blow dry him real quick, texturize him, and some styling products in him, and then we'll be all good.
Gonna put some products in me.
Shut up.
I sure do that when you put products in me.
I like to pre-dry, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tiny bit of tea trees firm hold gel in his hair. I always put like a dime size because his hair is really fine, and I just would wrap it around. More is less, right?
Less is more.
Less is more. Thank you. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. Oh, the only thing I know how to do is hair. There's a reason why I didn't go to a 4-year college. Alright. Anyways, so what I usually like to do, especially for his hair, since it's really fine, I like to give him lots of volume. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the opposite direction of his hair growth. So, and I'm also going to slick it back. And then if your man has a cowlick, my rule of thumb is go with your cowlick, because if you blow dry against it, you're gonna have alfalfas. Like, see, his is a little topsy-turvy. Okay. So now that his hair is all volumized, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cross check him a little bit, make sure everything's nice and clean. I'm also gonna go in with some texturizing shears after I'm done cross checking him. Usually what I like to do for cross checking is I'll just kind of go back in, make sure everything's nice and straight. So if you see anything, so see there's a little tall corner. Especially for his haircut, I usually have those tall corners. So that's like the first thing I like to go in and check. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some scissor over comb. So I'm going to go in, and if I see any kind of weird spots.
That's if you have texturizing shears.
If you have texturizing shears, thank you. Yes. So if you see any kind of So I'm gonna go in one more time with my pomade and make it nice and what I usually like to do after I apply my product. I'll go in with my comb. I'll kind of set it in place. Okay, go ahead and dust them off. If you want to make it real special, you can always go in and clean up his eyebrows a little bit too. Might do that real quick. Usually for eyebrows, I'll do the same thing. I'll do trimmers. Only if I had wax for my wax pot. That would be a video. Waxing my boyfriend. Okay, so, alright. Alright, why don't you go ahead and put in your glasses and make sure everything looks okay. Go ahead, sign it with me. It's a little longer than your usual, but
Solid.
it's solid for quarantine, right?
Yeah, I don't feel like such a fucking mess anymore.
Okay, cool. So, here. Alright, I'll have you do a little twirl for everybody. You ready? See? Da 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 da. And then here, we'll do a little twirl around, twirl around. Da da da. Ta-da! Alright, well thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something from this video. Hopefully your guys' will look good. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me, please, please, please. I know this is kind of scary to do for your first time, especially if you're not licensed or trained or anything like that. So please, 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 please comment below, ask questions, whatever you need, I'm here for you. And I'm Emily, as Emery Does Hair, and thanks for checking me out, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.